He writes about it multiple times in several of his books, yet I rarely see it discussed here, despite it being an incredibly easy way to think from your desire rather than to think of your desire. I'm sure many of us have imaginary conversations in our head, whether it be arguments, things we wish we could say to people, replaying old conversations, fantasizing about confronting someone, and so on. I find myself having these every single day. But when I say imaginary conversations, I don't mean fake. Remember, what's in our heads is just as real as what's out in the world. Everything comes from within. When we imagine, we create. Keeping track of these inner conversations is an imperative part of a strong mental diet. Instead of imagining confronting your boss for not paying you enough, imagine your boss telling you that you're getting a promotion and a raise. Instead of replaying a regretful old conversation in your head that you had with your SP, imagine waking up next to them and telling each other how happy you both are together. Instead of fantasizing about telling your friend everything that's been weighing on you lately, imagine telling them about how excited you are that you got accepted into your dream university. In section 7, Attitude and the Power of Awareness, Neville writes about a woman whom he helped with his teachings. She was a costume designer and was having difficulties with one of the producers. He suspected that she was likely having mental conversations with him, and he was correct. She admitted that she was constantly fantasizing about confronting this producer and giving him a piece of her mind. Every time she had one of these mental conversations, she went into it with the assumption that the producer was rude and hard to work with. It's no surprise that when she showed up to work, that's how he acted towards her. However, with Neville's advice, the woman stopped having these confrontational inner conversations and imagined a man congratulating her on her work and her thanking him for his praise. It worked. He began showing much more kindness toward her, and he was no longer difficult to work with. Others only echo that which we whisper to them in secret. These moments of inner conversation are extremely powerful and can evoke very strong feelings within us. We may even become so involved in them that we shut out the rest of the world completely and fully engage ourselves in them. This is actually exactly what you're supposed to do when manifesting, yet we often do it involuntarily. On the bright side, this shows us that getting into this state is actually quite simple. Unfortunately, we often focus on negative scenarios when in this state and having mental conversations. So, switch it up. The next time you have an imaginary argument in your head, stop yourself. Imagine a kind stranger telling you that you're beautiful or handsome. Imagine your coach telling you that you've been playing great lately. Imagine your friend telling you that you're an incredible singer. Imagine telling your spouse that you got a raise at work. Imagine telling your doctor that you've been feeling great lately. It's so powerful. This is also a big thing for the SP crowd. I don't know about you guys, but I found that one of my biggest obstacles in my SP journey has been thinking of the relationship rather than from the relationship. In my mental conversations, I was imagining us flirting or what I'll do to get her attention. I'd imagine her texting me and asking me to hang out. I went into these conversations with the assumption that we are not together and she doesn't want me. And the obvious result was that I wasn't getting my SP. That was until I realized my mistake. Here are some examples of inner conversations I've been having since then. I imagine us talking about baby names together. I imagine us sitting at a restaurant while on a date and talking about how great the food is. I imagine us discussing where we want to go for our honeymoon. I won't be going into much detail right now as I don't want to get in the way of my persistence, but let's just say it's been working like a charm. Also, these conversations don't always have to be between you and your SP. You can imagine telling your friend how happy you are in your relationship. You can imagine a stranger stopping you guys when you're out for a stroll and telling you that you two are cute together. You can imagine a family member telling you that they're so glad that you found someone so great. So, here are the key takeaways from this. Number 1, mental conversations are very powerful forms of prayer since they get us so emotionally involved. Number 2, watch out for arguments or negative conversations. Have ones that make you happy. And number 3, go into these conversations with the assumption that you have your desire. Have ones that imply that it is done. Accept that all you want is yours and everything comes from within you. You are already that which you want to be, and your refusal to believe this is the only reason you do not see it.